Mariners getting set to take on the Milwaukee Brewers and snap a little 3-game skid in spring training, and we are getting you ready for it. The Mariners have a winning record at the Peoria Sport Complex. They're 3-2. Hi, everybody. Angie Mentink here, along with Bill Kruger on this Friday, the 13th. So the question is, are you superstitious at all?
I'm not, but I always pitch well on Friday the 13th. So.
So you enjoyed it.
Yes.
The hitters that had to face you, they don't like Friday the 13th.
That's right.
Exactly.
You know, the nightmare, Freddy Krueger. Nobody remembers that. Everybody's too young for that.
No, I remember it. It gave me nightmares for years. Now, Bill did and achieved many things over his baseball career, folks, but no one has ever done what comedian and actor Will Ferrell did yesterday, playing for 10 teams all on the same day, all 9 positions. He started out with the Oakland A's, but then was traded to your Seattle Mariners. At one point in the day, I believe he was traded for a churro and a hot dog. But you look at, the way he fields a ground ball, this guy's got some skills, and it's impressive that what he was able to do.
He's 47 years old, and it's not like he was an ex-Major League athlete at 47. This is just a regular walk-of-life guy. And I thought he showed a lot of moxie to do it, and he could clearly play baseball. You could see by his throwing action. And the other thing is, he's very entertaining. He's doing this thing for a really great cause, but I think he was very respectful of the game. He didn't want to clown it up. He didn't want to get in the way of the other players. So I think those things really did play out throughout the day, and he is obviously a magnet for attention.
Yes, and once he actually finished and wrapped up his career, I liked the fact that he was moving there behind first base, knowing that he was going to be moving and backing up first base there. But the thing that was interesting is he did give the players a lot of respect. He said, the ball is like a bullet out there. It's moving so fast. A lot faster than it looks on television. The Athletics, Mariners, Angels, Cubs, D-backs, Reds, White Sox, Giants, Dodgers, and Padres all had Will play for them. Went 0 for 2, 2 strikeouts. He actually did foul off a ball. Wow. He did. He made contact.
That's a victory.
It is a victory. Through 1 pitch, retired with an ERA of 0. The best part, game-used items will be up for auction at MLB.com, with proceeds being donated to Stand Up for Cancer and Cancer for College. Meantime, Will not be seen in today's lineup. Robinson Cano, we hope, will return tomorrow after the death of his grandfather. Here is what it will look like. You've got Austin Jackson leading off in center, Seth Smith out in right, Kyle Seager, Nelson Cruz, Logan Morrison first. Mike Zunino will be doing the catching. More on him in a second. Ackley, Brad Miller, Chris Taylor continues to get reps out there at second base with Cano's absence. I am listening to Mike Zunino this year, Bill, and this guy sounds like he is ready to make that next step.
Well, he had to take the first step pretty quickly. I mean, hardly any minor league time coming out of college, and you see the numbers that he put up last year. 130 games, second in the league in innings caught, and he did a great job behind the plate. He did a great job of, as they say, stealing strikes, really holding pitches in. And I think leadership-wise, block and throw-wise, I thought he was just outstanding. And it's not easy to be the youngest guy on the team and be the guy that's really in charge. So I think the next step for Mike is to continue to refine his skills behind the plate and really take that power that he has. 22 home runs was a record for the club. And then just get better hitting the ball the other way, cut down the strikeouts. And those are additions.
Yep. Well, he needs to get used to several new pitchers like today's starter, Jay Happ, and that's where Dave Sims starts his conversation with the skipper, Lloyd McClendon.
Jay Happ's going for you today. What do you look for him from him today?
Well, I mean, obviously we want to throw a little better than he did last time, get the pitch count up a little bit, get his 3 innings in, and just stay healthy. It's still a little bit early for the starters. I think he's expected to go 3 today. If it's a low pitch count, we'll get him up to 4, but get the work in, stay healthy.
An overall question is regarding shifts. As a hitting coach, what's your approach? What do you tell your guys, particularly some of your important guys, when teams are throwing a shift on them?
Well, I can tell you how I felt as a hitting coach. You want to be able to use the entire field and beat the shift. But as a manager, you get a guy that's on the other side you're playing a shift against, that's a big power hitter. You're hoping he tries to bunt because that takes him out of his element, number one. And number 2, he's not hitting the ball out of the ballpark. So there's a couple of things, and there's a cat and mouse game that goes with all of it. But you want to be adept at trying to drive the ball the other way, regardless of what type of hitter you are. And I think our guys are working hard at that, and for the most part, we're starting to achieve that.
Anybody in particular starting to showing you something in that regard?
Well, I thought Seager did a real good job of it last year, really making the adjustments, getting a lot of base hit, line drive base hits the other way. Even threw down a couple of bunts at times. And, Morrison struggled with it a little bit. He's working on it, trying to get better at it, and we'll continue to work.
And one other thing you touched on this morning in the media session, your bench. When you look down the bench, what are you seeing this year?
Well, I see veterans. I see veterans with track records and guys that can do damage off the bench and, know how to pinch hit, know big situations, and they're not overwhelmed. So, I think that's real important, particularly, the other guy in the other bench that's looking over his lineup card, and he sees what you have on that bench.
All right, thanks, Lloyd.
Okay, buddy.
All right, and you just saw first pitch by Jay Happ right there. We get you down to Dave and Mike in spring training. Dave, you're fast because we just saw you interviewing the skipper, and all of a sudden, like a bullet, you're up in the box.
There were days years ago when they said I could move a little bit. Maybe I picked up a little bit with age. Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you, Angie. Dave Sims and Mike Blowers here in Peoria. Gorgeous, gorgeous day. James Anthony Happ, Jay Happ, on the mound against the Milwaukee Brewers out of the National League Central Division. Scooter Gennett's the hitter. 1-1 pitch. I really liked it, and I'm sure you did like the acquisition of Jay Happ to this ball club, a veteran left-hander.
I do, and I think that he's certainly going to help them. And you'd like to have the left-hander in your rotation, and he's been around. This is going to be his second appearance of the spring. His last outing, he pitched a couple of innings, gave up 2 hits, had a strikeout and a walk. Did give up the 1 home run, but I thought overall he was pretty sharp in his first outing, so we'll see what he looks like today. Probably going to go 3 innings.
Last time we saw Jay Happ in a regular season game, who could forget, September 22nd last year in Toronto, is with the Blue Jays. Beat the Mariners 14-4. 7 strong innings, 5 Ks, a walk, 99 pitches, 66 for strikes. This game he had pitched James Paxton. Seager hit a home run in that game, and that was from that just brutal finishing road trip that the Mariners had last season.
For Jay, he's also working on his changeup. Has a circle change, and he also throws a split change, and we'll probably see some of that today as he gets a strikeout on the first batter.
So Gennett is gone. 1 away.
And this is on the breaking ball. Looks like he throws him a curveball, tries to get it on the outside corner, and Gennett out in front of it. Big sweepy curveball from Happ.
Spectacular day for the 32-year-old to pitch in today. About 80 degrees, humidity not a factor, light breeze blowing straight in. Up high to Gene Segura, the shortstop. Segura last year, 246 hitter, 5 home runs and 31 runs batted in. Charging is Chris Taylor. See Robinson Cano tomorrow. He's back in town after bereavement time off. His granddad died. And Cano back in the clubhouse today, working out. He'll start tomorrow's ballgame. That'll be against the White Sox at what's the name there? Camelback, right?
There you go, Camelback.
Ryan Braun. Check that Carlos Gomez is the hitter, and he takes a big hack. It's a lineup change from what we were given earlier.
Yeah, I had Braun hitting third, but that is definitely Gomez.
All-star performer. Another guy can cover some ground out in center field. We saw him
with
Minnesota.
Yeah, he was playing with Minnesota. He was their 4th, 5th outfielder. Wasn't getting much of a chance to play, but we knew that he had some speed and has really blossomed with the Brewers.
Happ's got a 2-1 count. Ground ball to Miller, gets a nice hop. Throws him out, and Jay Happ off to a good start. 1, 2, 3 go the Brewers. Mariners coming up. It'll be Jackson, Smith, and Seager when we get back.
The Lexus
In Arizona, and today just another day in paradise. Good stuff here in Peoria, Arizona. Glad you could join us for Mariner baseball. 84 degrees right now. A few clouds dotting the sky. Brand new entrance here at the Peoria Sports Complex. Underwent some changes and improvements. A lot of folks out on the berm. Matter of fact, really good crowd out on the berm today.
Hopefully they brought their sunscreen. I think by the time this one's over, it's going to be touching 90 degrees. This might be the warmest day we've had so far.
We'll get you some changes that have been made in the Milwaukee lineup as Austin Jackson leads it off for the Mariners. Jackson yesterday, a walk and a triple and an infield hit. That was against the Athletics. As he faces Mike Fiers.
To a good start in spring after 5 games, hitting .385. And we've seen him get a number of hits going the other way, which is a good sign for him.
Yesterday was that Will Ferrell day, HBO, and they're raising money for fight against cancer. Played 10 positions, 5 teams. We started off against in the Mariner Athletics game yesterday. So Austin Jackson starts the ball game off walking on a 3-2 pitch. Who's playing second base? Will Ferrell. And I'm thinking, could be interesting if Ruggiano hits something to the shortstop, Marcus Seaman. He's got to turn a double play. But Ferrell never got a chance to touch the ball yesterday in the Mariner A's game. Ferrell starts with the Athletics and comes over to the Mariners. And Jordan Priest did a heck of a job starting yesterday. He had to wait for Ferrell to get into the uniform. He'd already completed his warm-ups, had to wait a little bit, and of course then the first pitch rips it for a triple up and into Jackson 1-2. But certainly a good cause, and I saw two pieces of video when Ferrell was at third holding up the signs, literally holding up the signs.
I saw the highlights of that.
And then he fielded a base hit in the Angels game. Here's a 1-2. Breaking ball fouled off again.
Yeah, he had a nice little crow hop. Was able to get the ball back in. I thought he looked okay.
Kevin Kremen had the line of the day as I'm walking into the booth and Ferrell's taking batting practice. Simsy, look at that bat speed. It's awesome. He was struggling, as you would expect. We put a few of them in play. Jackson, looper, left field, base hit. One of your keys to this ball club, Austin Jackson, Logan Morrison. I'm talking to a lot of national media guys around who've been coming to town here, and they've been talking about that.
Well, you and I were talking about Austin before the game and the triple that he had yesterday. Off to a good start here in spring. I just think he has to be more comfortable showing up with the club at the start of spring training as opposed to being traded over and having his struggles once he came over to the Mariners last year. But I think it'll make a big difference for him just being around the guys at the start.
When you were traded during the course of your career, as we look at Seth Smith, were you traded midseason?
I was.
That's a heck of an adjustment, isn't it?
It is, and I think the tendency is to try to do too much. You want to impress right away. And for me, I was a young player, but even for Austin Jackson, a guy that's a veteran and has done some things in this game, as a track record, I think the tendency is to still try to do more than what you probably would normally do, and I think he'll be more comfortable this year. So at least that's the hope. But I agree. I think he's a big key to this club, especially in that leadoff spot. Everybody points to the middle of the lineup for the Mariners, but you have to have guys scoring runs, and get over 270 with the Tigers last year. If he can get in that area again, he'll be in good shape.
Seth Smith, slow start so far in the spring, 1 for 11. No homers and an RBI. Fires ready and delivers a strike.
mentioned the slow start for Seth Smith. Typically he's an aggressive hitter, and he ends up taking a couple of fastballs here, so maybe he's to the point where he just wants to see a few pitches. I'm sure he'll be ready to hit now. 1-1 count to him.
Runner takes off. Curveball off the plate. Jackson in with the stolen base. Another key part of his game.
Well, he had 20 stolen bases last year between the Tigers and the Mariners. Take a look at his jump. Gets a pretty good jump. Throw ends up running back into him. I couldn't tell. It goes right off the glove of Segura, the shortstop. I thought maybe it hit Austin in the hand, but it didn't.
Second stolen base for Jackson. Smith's got a 2-1 count.
This is a pretty good situation for him. He likes to pull the ball, so he should be able to at least move Jackson up to third if he makes an out.
Pulled it indeed. Fair ball down the line. Bonus time as he's got extra bases. Jackson will score easily. And Seth Smith with his second Mariner base hit of the spring, and the Mariners have a 1-0 lead. Got just what he wanted.
Well, as a veteran, he knows his job is to pull the ball, especially hitting second. And he gets a pitch he can handle a little bit up, but it's on the inside corner. Gets it right down the line. It's one of the things I know Lloyd has talked about, having him hit second, and for that reason, Boston Jackson does his job and gets on base consistently. That'll open up the hole on the right side, and he certainly likes to pull the ball. So if he does steal second, you can at least advance him. He'll pick up an RBI though.
Bring up Kyle Seager, third baseman, 267, a homer and 3 runs batted in here in the spring. Boy, when the regular season starts, Mariners will have all-stars in the 3-4-5 hole. Cano, Cruz, and Seager. It's a good threesome. Great threesome.
Kyle hit his home run the other day here at home. It was a high fastball, and he hit it into the bullpen out in right field.
Fires misses away 3-0 to Seager.
Sure, Lloyd will let him hit here. Spring game 3-0. We saw that from Lloyd quite a bit last year. Once he was able to get to know the guys, he picked out a number of them. He would let them hit 3-0 if they wanted to.
Saw Cruz on deck. 3-1.
And with the year that Kyle had, no surprise that he was able to swing right there.
Showed you pictures of the berm, which is pretty crowded. The rest of the grandstand filled too. It's a good crowd here. Beautiful day. 3-1 pitch here to Seager. 3-2. Packing them in here at Peoria Stadium. Ballpark shared with the San Diego Padres. Mariners coming in with a record of 4-6. Milwaukee 3-5. The Brewers lost their first 5 games of the spring, and since then have won the next 3. Three and 2 to Seager. Keeps the at bat alive against Mike Fiers.
I was glad you did your interview with Lloyd today that he pointed out Kyle when you were talking to him about beating the shifts and hitting the ball the other way, because that's something I talked to Kyle about a few times last year. And second half, he said he was going to try to take advantage of it, and we did. We saw exactly that, and he's a guy certainly capable of it. I think a number of the Mariners could take advantage of that.
Fiers ready. Pitch up high. Ball 4. Mariners have 2 men aboard. First 3 men have reached. First and second here with a 1-0 lead, and brings up Nelson Cruz. It's the kind of situations you want to see a lot coming up this season. Cruz with men on base.
Having a good spring, hitting .308 here in the spring.
Ron Renicky in his 5th year. He's had 3 winning seasons with Milwaukee Brewers. ball slipped out of his hand. Ball 1. Fiers 29 years old out of Hollywood, Florida. 5th year with the Brewers. Record of 16-19, a 3.54 ERA.
He's really struggling with his command. A lot of his pitches are up. That curveball he tried to throw looked like it just slipped out of his hand. Having a tough time there in the first. Another one.
Went back to it and missed. Cruz in charge right now, 2-0. Fires a 22nd round pick in 2009. First year player draft. 2-0 to Cruz. Fastball away. 3-0. Logan Morrison on deck for the Mariners. Brewers coming off an 82-80 campaign in the 2014 season. And Cruz is aboard. Never saw a strike.
Yeah, all those pitches up in the zone. Great situation for Logan Morrison.
Nowhere to put him. Got to throw him a strike. Momo coming up with a hot final 6 weeks of the 2014 season.
And it's carried over into the spring, hitting .313 for the spring. We had a chance to talk to him the other day and was asking him about the opportunity, one, to get a number of at bats this year. He should get probably 400, 450 at bats, and where he's going to hit in the lineup, he should probably be in a lot of these types of situations. So picking up RBIs for him, he's going to get some opportunities to do that. Certainly like to cash him in.
Sacks filled with Mariners. You got Smith at third, Seager at second, Cruz at first. 1-0 on the Smith RBI doubling. Looking for that big inning. Up the middle, double play opportunity here, and the threat is down to 2 outs now with a runner at third, and runs score to make it 2-0. Seth Smith scoring. I think Zunino's going to swing the bat.
He's talking to Mike about last year, and we know about his home runs, power that he possesses. Did a great job behind the plate. And I just asked him, I said, with you having a full year under your belt now, having an idea about the opposing pitchers, but more importantly being more comfortable with your own pitching staff, I think that would help him as far as his hitting goes and hitting for a higher average. And he agreed with that. He said he put so much into getting these guys through their innings and did an excellent job of that. But offensively, I think we're going to see a more consistent Mike Zunino.
199 with 22 home runs last year. All 2 strikes. See if Mike can pick up that extra run. Seager at third. Breaking ball. Hit the left center field. Both fielders battling the sun, but coming down with it is Shane Peterson, and that'll do it. Mariners pick up a couple of runs on 2 hits and leave them at 2-0 as we head to the second inning.
head to the second over the Brewers. And speaking of Milwaukee and their lineup, let's get yours corrected at home. They made some last-minute changes. Gannett, Segura, we saw them. Carlos Gomez, that's where the changes started. Ryan Braun was supposed to be batting third. Aramis Ramirez third. And then Matt Clark is also in the game as well at first base. Schaefer, Jimenez, and Peterson is out in center field. Dave and Mike, I think I got this all straight, but my scorecard, it's ugly. I'm not going to lie.
That's why you got to get the whiteout or the correction tape. I live by it. Thank you very much. Brian Anderson, outstanding broadcaster for the Milwaukee Brewers, just ran in here and said, hey, I didn't know Brun was not going to play, but I can tell you that there's been a lot of pink eye conjunctivitis been going through the clubhouse, and Lee Tunnell's doing is a pitching coach, a backup pitching coach today. Was it Kranitz? Rich Kranitz is out today, so it's one of the reasons why we had these changes in the lineup.
For the record, I think my scorecard looks a lot like Angie's right now.
It's up right over ours.
Used to seeing it like this, but it's more towards the end of the game.
Yeah, absolutely. Not in the first inning, especially when you're expecting to see some of the regulars.
I was looking forward to watching Braun today, but it's too bad that he wasn't able to stay in the lineup.
Aramis Ramirez, the hitter. Hits it foul. So Jay Happ in his second inning of work went 1, 2, 3 in the first. Above our heads again. Jay Happ in his 9th year in the big leagues. Record of 51 and 53. He's been with Philly, Houston, and Toronto. His best year for the 09 National League champion Philadelphia Phillies. He went 12 and 4 with a 2.93 ERA.
In the first inning, he showed a pretty good curveball. Looks like he has a good fastball again today. His first outing, he had some life to his fastball, and that appears to be the same this afternoon.
2-2 pitch. Short left field, coming in Smith. He's there to make the catch. Single game tickets for opening day. They have sold out, but a limited amount of seats still remain for those who purchase a Mariners 10-game flex pack. Get your hands on one of the last few opening day tickets. They pick out a 10-game flex pack at mariners.com/flex. Here's Matt Clark. Clark hitting .375 on the spring. That's a big man at 6'5", 230. Fouls it off. Hall of Fame work here. What do you think? Oh!
Hey, move him off the plate. I agree. He's crowding you. He's crowding you a little bit.
That's a good mindset. He doesn't mind working inside.
There you go.
On the ground, Morrison made a move for it. The pitcher now, whoa, a lot of confusion there. As Morrison stepped to his right to make a play on it, Taylor was there. Happ came over, and the ball was dropped.
As you mentioned, Morrison went towards the ball, and Happ was doing his job. He got up to the mound. He was going to cover, and then he saw Morrison running hard to the base. You'll see Morrison. He'll turn around, start running hard to the base, and right about there, he slows up. And by then, Morrison tells him to go ahead and take it. And well, new pitcher in camp. They work on these things. He'll get that straightened out. Pitcher's fielding practice in the morning.
You know what? It's one of the real boring things to watch. And how many? What was it? The Tigers lost the World Series. What was that? No 6 because they couldn't get it done. Gave him a base hit on that. Logan Schaefer, the hitter.
In the mornings, they get out there and they usually have some sort of fundamental pitcher's fielding practice, or they'll cut off and relays, run through their bunt plays.
Mariners lead 2-0 here in the top of the second.
I can tell you, first couple of weeks of spring, you don't mind doing it, but when you get towards the end of camp and you're looking forward to the season starting, that's the last thing that you want to do. But we know with Lloyd McClellan as the manager, he consistently has the guys out there working on something every single day.
1-1 pitch. Fouls it away, 1-2.
Hey, down him, Jake.
Jay Happ out of Peru, Illinois, went to Northwestern University in Evanston, Illinois. Breaking ball flipped into left field and deep. Ackley runs it down. 2 away.
We've talked about it before here in spring training in Arizona. It's difficult for the outfielders because of the sky and the sun that is here. I think Dustin Ackley moving to left field, he's had some good routes this spring already. We've seen early on. He seemed more comfortable out there this year. Definitely has the speed to play the outfield.
Jackson in center. Seth Smith in right field. Luis Jimenez. 18 games with the Angels last season, a 162 batting average with 2 runs batted in, no homers. Right to Seager. Hit hard and retired is Jimenez. When we come back, we'll show you some of the happenings yesterday when Will Ferrell started his grand tour of Major League Baseball here in the Cactus League for charity.
For the best in life.
With us here, Mariner Baseball, 2-0 lead against the Brewers as we play the bottom of the second inning. Bottom third of the order, Ackley, Miller, and Taylor against Mike Fiers. Ackley hitting at .400 here in the spring. The Yak attack is 4 for 10. No homers, 2 runs batted in. And he's behind 0-2.
Fiers has made an adjustment. In the first inning, he was having a hard time getting the ball down into the strike zone, and those 2 fastballs right at the knees.
Talking about the change in the lineup for the Milwaukee Brewers, and your story by Bleacher Report, Brewers have banned high fives due to the rampant pink eye. Conjunctivitis. Breaking ball missed.
We were talking about it during the break. That would be a hard thing to stop doing. You're so conditioned, you know, with the high fives all the time, and you just do it without even thinking about it. And now it's banned. Hopefully the fines aren't heavy.
Check swing. Ackley's got great speed. He's going to get a base hit. Check swing base hit for Dustin Ackley to lead off the Mariners' second. As you know by now, Will Ferrell all through the Cactus League yesterday. Let's see if he gets one out of the infield.
Making some contact. That's
yeah,
pretty good.
Absolutely. There it is.
Base hit.
There it is.
It looks like he's been taking it pretty seriously.
Oh,
too.
yeah. No, he had all the moves. It was fun. A lot of buzz.
That wasn't at the game yesterday, but you had a chance to see.
Yeah, a lot of buzz in the ballpark. Big crowd over at Hohokam Stadium, the old home of the Cubs, now the A's. He played the crowd as he came out, as he finished his inning with the Athletics. He high-fived everybody coming down the rail. Acknowledged the crowd, tipped his cap, then went into the Mariner dugout and changed into Mariner colors. Brad Miller fouls one back 1-1.
Well, we know this about Brad. Last year he had a terrific spring and ended up winning the job at shortstop, and he's doing the same thing this spring at short. He and Taylor, while Cano has been out, have been taking turns from short to second, but he's hitting .500 for the spring. A couple of home runs.
Great is that.
He's played really well here early on.
6 for 12. The 2 home runs you mentioned and the RBIs, and it's impressive. 3 runs batted in. Slashes away, missed. 1-2. Good action out on the berm. As you mentioned, if you have a concession sunblock, it's a good day for you. Get out there. Ackley at first, not a big lead. Count evens at 2-2.
Do you think we'll see Dustin run a little bit more this year?
I hope so.
I do too. I mean, obviously with the ankle injuries that he's had,
I hope so.
Skip from running, but that would be a huge help to the club offensively.
He's still a plus runner, even with the ankle.
Yes.
That taken care of. Fires. Nice dig by Segura. That's a fine turn of a double play. 1-6-3. Second double play today for Milwaukee.
I wonder if Fires surprised himself a little bit by making this catch. He has to go up off the mound a little bit. There you go, top of the glove. A little bit of a sinker into second, but Segura with fine pick, able to keep his foot on the bag and complete the double play.
Good hands. Chris Taylor, 5 for 16, a .313 batting average, a homer and 4 runs batted in. Drops down a bunt. It's a beauty. Can he get there? Yes, sir. Base hit.
Well, that's a situation where he noticed that Ramirez was playing back at third. We'll take another look at it. Bunch of curveball and a good play by Fires. Gets off the mound. Gets rid of it quickly, but Chris with good speed was able to beat it out for a base hit. That'll be an infield hit for him. Turn the lineup over. I think he and Brad are going to go at it right to the very end of spring training.
Funny you mention it, because that question came up during Lloyd's media session. Does anybody have an edge? He says, come on, we're midway through spring. Both guys are performing at a high level as this pitch gets away. Be a wild pitch. So it would be unfair to name somebody now. He says it's going to go down the last day.
I think that they're 2 young players, and I don't think that he wants to give either one of them an indication of one way or the other, because he wants them to continue to compete. And they're playing well. Yes, they will. I don't think either one of them, they're going to back down from it, but I think it's healthy to have them compete the whole way in spring training.
It's one of the better competitions we've seen here.
Yeah. And it's exactly what you hope for, that they're playing well and pushing each other. And that's something that Brad was talking about. And I think it's healthy for him.
2-0 to Austin Jackson.
I get asked the same question every day, and that's my answer. I have no idea. They're both playing well, and I think it's going to go all throughout the spring. So hopefully they make Lloyd's decision a tough one.
I think it is. I totally think it will be. 2-0 to Jackson. Make it 3-0. Got a base hit to left field his first time up. Stole a base and scored on the double by Seth Smith. Drives it to center field. Peterson is there. And it makes a catch. Wind blowing in just a little bit here at Peoria Stadium. 2-0 Mariners as we go to the third inning.
Happ still on the mound. The Mariners lead it 2-0. We take a look at our Lexus pitching lineup to see who else we might see today. Carson Smith, remember we got a peek at him last year. Justin Germano, Forrest Snow, the former Husky, Danny Farquhar, Charlie Furbush, Mike Kickham, who the Mariners just acquired back in January in the trade, but not necessarily in this order, guys, right?
It'll be interesting to see how that plays out, but looking forward to seeing those guys. Angie, thank you. Here's Shane Peterson to lead it off for the Brewers. Trail 2-0 here in Peoria. 8-9-1. One Zunino and Scooter Gennett coming up.
This will probably be the last inning for Happ. Starter's second time through. All pitched 3 innings. And again, he pitched 2 innings his first outing. This is third.
Here's Miller. Throwing out Peterson, 1 away. Shop the Mariners team store sale going on right now, where you can save up to 50% off select caps, apparel, and souvenirs. Plus, enjoy 25% off clearance items. The sale's going to end on Sunday, so head to one of the 5 convenient Mariner team store locations to gear up for the 2015 season. Here's the catcher, Zunino. Mariners at the White Sox tomorrow. Back on TV on Sunday here at home against the Dodgers. One the count. Ball and 2 strikes. Brewers last year got off to the fabulous start, won 20 of their first 29 games. Spent 4.5 months and change in first place. Second half, they went 40-41. Cardinals got healthy and came on. His fly ball left field. Ackley takes care of it. 2 away. One point, Milwaukee was up 6.5 games on St. Louis. Adrian Molina got injured, was on the DL, and then he came back and things started picking up for the Cardinals. He had Braun and Ramirez had early or mid-season injuries, which really wreaked some havoc on the Brewers. 2 away, and Scooter Gennett, the second baseman. Breaking ball hit foul. Veteran left-hand presence here in Happ is going to be great for the Mariners.
Well, I would agree, and I think that you have to be happy with the way that he's pitched in his first 2 outings today. He's really done a good job of throwing strikes, good command of his fastball, and has a good feel for his breaking ball. He's thrown a pretty good slider and a curveball. Haven't seen too many change-ups out of him.
0-2.
I think there's some deception. I think the ball gets on the hitters a little bit quicker because here in his 2 outings, we've seen some late swings on his fastball.
Look out. Happ with Toronto last year, 11-11. 30 games, 26 starts, 4.22 ERA. 1-2 here. Gennett fouls off another.
And it looks like Carson Smith getting loose in the Mariners pen. He will be the next pitcher.
Good life on that pitch there to strike out Gennett. A 1-2-3 inning for J. Happ in the third. Mariners lead it 2-0.
Smith getting in his warm-up tosses, so perhaps we will see him in the 4th inning. Mariners leading it still 2-0. We're curious where you are watching today's game. Just share a photo on Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter. Just use the hashtag #WhereIRoot. Oh, look at the sleeping baby. All babies are adorable when they're sleeping. And this one from Joshua as well. Keep them coming. And again, the hashtag is #WhereIRoot. Guys?
All right, Angie. Mike Fiers facing Seth Smith for the second time. Smith got ahead in the count with a man at second. Doubled down the right field line in the first inning. Scoring the Mariner first run. Breaking ball fouled off. 1-1. Smith, Seager, and Cruz 2-3-4 here for the Mariners. Smith straight away in deep. Down and in, misses. 2-1. Fooled him on that one. 2-2. One of the things Lloyd McClendon talked about in his morning session with the media, given his lineup, what he's going to be able to field out there today, this season. Thinks his team's capable of scoring 700 runs. Last year, Mariners just 634 runs, and the teams that made the playoffs, the A's 729, Baltimore 705, Detroit 757. The Angels led everybody with 773. So he thinks he can hit that number this year. Kansas City got to the playoffs, got to the World Series. They scored 651. A walk to Seth Smith to start the Mariners off here in the third. Mariners' third walk. Be a heck of a number if they could hit 700.
That would be a big jump for him too.
Coming from 634 last year, and that was a jump from the year before. So certainly headed in the right direction. Kyle Seager walked his first time. Drops in a curveball for strike. Beautiful day. Full house here at Peoria Stadium. The berm is pretty much completely filled now. 0-1 pitch to Seager. Able to check. 1-1. Smith not a fast runner at first. Modest lead. 1-1 pitch.
You look at the Brewers too. They look like a club that should score some runs. I like their infield. You have Ramirez at third, Segura at the shortstop, Jeanette. They just picked up Adam Lynn over the winter from the Blue Jays to play some first base. Lucroy, of course, the catcher. He's outstanding. Slight hamstring. Sounds like he's going to be out for a little while, but once he gets healthy, he'll certainly do damage in the lineup for him.
Great year for him last season.
You have Braun and Gomez in the outfield.
Seager takes ball 2, 2-2. Two pitch. Breaking ball missed. Full count. Nelson Cruz on deck.
Left-hander Brent Leach getting loose in the Brewers bullpen right now.
Three-two pitch. Smith takes off and popped up short center field. Shortstop Segura going back and can't make the play. Everybody's safe. Base hit. Center fielder Peterson was deep. Well placed pop by Seager. The Mariners have a couple of men aboard it again for Nelson Cruz.
Right in the triangle. Again, it's tough for the outfielders here. Typically, you don't see them get as good a jump as they will during the season. Tough to see. Segura trying to help them out at the shortstop, but he had to go quite a ways out in the outfield. Wasn't able to get to it.
Ron Renicky coming out to get fires. He has hit his limit for today. We got a pitching change. We shall return to Peoria. Mariners have a 2-0 lead with a couple of men aboard here in the third inning. Yesterday out here in the Cactus League, started yesterday's game with the Athletics and then put on the Mariner uniform. They only got to touch the ball here and after strikeout after a couple outs. No balls came to him until later on in the day. Did get some action. I'm going to go back. I want to see the action being pitched. Pitch for the Dodgers.
Getting ready, set, he's ready to go. Not sure where to go on this one. Overall, let's have to see. He looks like he's taking it serious when he's out there, which is good to see. Gets him out there again, trying to get set.
That was one of the good plays I was telling you about Montero. That's a nice play.
So he made a couple of good plays yesterday. That's a tough pick.
Back to live action. We've got Nelson Cruz looking at breaking ball for strike one. Nelly walked his first time up. Brent Leach takes over. Cruz hitting at .308, a homer and 3 runs batted in on spring. In there for strike 1-2. Seth Smith, he's at second, Seager at first. One-two pitch. In a long ways and foul.
As you would probably guess, all the outfielders playing just in front of the warning track, so they're playing deep. And the wind direction looks like it's changing and blowing straight out.
It's reversed. Two and two, nobody out, and a couple of men aboard. Cruz's big change this year. Spent probably 90% of his time as the DH. Did get to play in right field yesterday. 2 and 2. Full count. Logan Morrison on deck.
I think Lloyd just wants to keep him healthy and in the lineup every day, hitting fourth. Keep him out of the outfield as much as he can.
3-2. And hard to Segura, right off of Segura. Boy, that ball was really scalded. Everybody's safe.
As Dave mentioned, this ball is hit right on the button. This gets a fastball in the middle of the plate, and Segura looked as if he was going to be in good shape for the double play, and you watch this ball come right up on him, able to get a piece of it.
So on E6 for Segura, he's hurt.
A lot of top spin on the ball. Out here in Arizona, the infield can dry out in a hurry.
Right.
Take another look. You'll see the second bounce of the ball come right up on him and eat him up. And at that point, he was just trying to knock it down and hopefully get an out.
So, bad break for the shortstop for a team already battling pitching coach and the catcher with conjunctivitis. They've banned high fives on this Milwaukee ball club, so they're going through a tough run right now. A reminder, Mariners single game tickets, they're now on sale. Buy early and save when you pick up seats to the biggest games of the year, including fireworks nights, Jamie Moyer Hall of Fame Day, and series against the Yankees, Red Sox, and Giants. Stop by the Safeco Field box office, Mariners team stores, or Mariners.com to get your tickets today. Back-to-back plate appearances now for Logan Morrison with the bases loaded. Bounced into a double play first time. And swinging on the first pitch. And he looks at a strike here in the third. Nowhere to put them. Mariners have a 2-0 lead. Couple of runs in the first inning. Jay Happ has thrown 3 strong innings, giving up just 1 hit. Take by Morrison, 1-1.
Logan getting most of the playing time at first base this year. I wonder if we're going to see Ricky Weeks over there at all. Give him a spell against a tough left-hander from time to time, wouldn't you think?
Absolutely, because
we've seen Ricky playing left field so far in the spring, but I haven't seen him at first.
At some point, I think that's going to be in play. Especially, it's one of the many reasons they brought him here to play corner outfield, and he's probably going to play majority in left, but he can back up at third, back up at first. Ball at 2 strikes to Lomo. He did go, says home plate umpire Josh Byrne, and Morrison a strikeout victim.
There's another breaking ball in the dirt. Logan not able to lay off of it. I think that was a swing. Give Mike Zunino an opportunity to drive in some runs. Mike flew out to center field his first time up.
Seth Smith at third. You got Seager at second. Cruz at first. 1 out. Ball 1. Took a lot off of that pitch. Great opportunity for the Mariners. Bases filled. Pitch. Breaking ball for strike. Brent Leach, signed by the Brewers in December. Had been with the Dodgers. Through the hole, Segura can't get it. That'll get a couple of runs in. Smith, he scores. Seager right behind him. A 4-0 lead for the Mariners. 2-run single, Mike Zunino. Mike Z is third and fourth RBIs.
We'll take a look at Mike. I know he's talked a lot about hitting the ball the other way, but on this pitch, it's a breaking ball, and he's down. A pretty good pitch by Leach. Mike able to stay with it, hit it through the left side of the infield. Pick up a couple of RBIs. I know that's something that he wants to work on this year, getting that batting average up. Of course, Mike with 22 home runs last year. A solid base hit for him.
Cruz at second, Zunino at first for Ackley. Ackley with an infield hit first time up. Down low from Brent Leach. Oh, now they get Zunino picked off. They run him down. Cruz moves to third.
This is the play that is put on. They usually have a pick play. Either the pitcher or the first baseman will put it on, and you can see how early he breaks to catch Zunino off guard. Not a play you see a lot of, but it's well executed by the Brewers. My guess would be that Clark put the play on. Pick him right there.
2-0, ripped into right field. Cruz will score easily. RBI for Dustin Ackley. 5-0 Mariners. Ackley with his third RBI of the spring.
Hitters count. 2-0 fastball. Middle in. Talking about Dustin hitting the ball the other way here early in camp. He's having a good spring, but this one, I think more because of the count, able to get it started a little bit early. A solid line drive into right field.
Good to see the productivity from the bottom of the order. Miller checks his swing.
Brad hit into a double play his first time up. 1-6-3 double play.
See that a lot here in Arizona, right? Ball slipping out, curveball.
Yeah,
so
the
dry
pitchers will
here.
complain. So dry. The pitchers will complain sometimes that on certain days it's difficult to have a good grip of the baseball. They don't think that their breaking ball breaks quite as much here in Arizona.
Bouncing ball to the first baseman. Takes care of it, and that'll do it for the Mariners. A good inning as they played 3 times to take a 5-0 lead. Brett Adam will carry you for the next 3 here from Peoria.
0-0 as we head to the fourth inning. Got to get a dog. If you're at the ballpark, you got to get a dog, and that looks like a pretty good one to get. A reminder to keep these coming. Where I Root. Use the hashtag on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. These are some of the pictures that have come in so far today. Look at that, training a new guy to run Mariners baseball. Jonathan sending that one in. Good luck, Jonathan. That's right there, master control. And Aaron sent this one in with man's best friend. But again, keep them coming. We get back down to Peoria, and Brad Adam doing the play-by-play with Mike now.
Angie, thank you. In keeping with the Will Ferrell theme, Mike, just kind of helicoptered in for these next 3 innings. Thanks for sticking with me, buddy.
Welcome. Good to see you down here in Arizona.
Yes. It's been fun.
Win yesterday?
Give me a little Wednesday. I've been here a couple. This is my third game where we've got a new pitcher, and it's Carson Smith, the big righty, taking the mound. So third game here. This is the nicest, warmest day, mid-80s. Starting to heat up.
Third game, but this is the first one you've had to actually do something.
If you call this working, doing something, yes. Pay attention and watch.
Well,
yes.
welcome.
Well, thank you. And you guys look like you're having a lot of fun back in studio. So I said, let's get out here and join these guys.
Yeah, you're going to be here for a few days. You're going to work Sunday's game as well, right?
Correct. If they'll have me back, 4th, 5th, and 6th innings. Good. Again, yes, Carson Smith's first pitch is a strike. With the Mariners up 5-0, they felt fairly safe letting me come on for a few, I think.
He'll do fine.
Segura steps in. He took that smash off of Nelson Cruz, but seems to be A-OK, and a chopper over the mound.
Tough play.
Good speed. Base hit. Taylor couldn't make the bare hand grab. All the way to second base, but
good job,
Segura, yes. Segura trying to stretch that grounder into a double. Smith able to tag him out at second base.
That will be an infield base hit. And Segura, as you mentioned, trying to get into second. He has tremendous speed, but you can see Taylor goes off the side of his hand. And once Segura sees that, he goes after it. And Brad does his job to go get it. But Carson Smith, the pitcher, actually there to cover second. Puts the tag on him.
We don't see that very often,
no.
Mr. Blowers.
No, you don't. Good play by Carson.
A good play by Miller, too, kind of signaling, pointing at the bag. He knew there might be a play at second, and he got it done. Mr. Miller. Pitch inside to Mr. Gomez. Gomez grounded out to short his first time up in the first. He talked about how this guy's just blossomed into an MVP type player for the Brewers.
He's been a really good player for him. And I was talking to Dave about it. I can remember when he was with Minnesota and was having a tough time getting in the lineup. Of course, Torrey Hunter was there at the time. And he is really... It's amazing. You give guys an opportunity to play, see what they can do. You have to love just his skills, that he can run. He has a good arm, obviously has power, and everything has come together for him in Milwaukee. Good player. Carson Smith, his fastball 94 to 96 miles an hour with a good slider.
Oh, a nice slider there for Smith. He's in relief of Jay Happ, who joins us now. Made his way to the clubhouse. Jay,
hey,
very
guys.
Impressive 3 innings for you, sir. How did you feel out there? You looked really good.
I felt good. I think making some strides definitely from the first outing. I feel good, feel strong, and felt like I could keep going, which is always a good thing.
Was there anything in particular you were working on today, Jay?
I think just trying to get my off speed going, change up and breaking balls, and today the cutter slider was a lot better than it was in the first outing, and that's something we try to focus on in between bullpen. So it's nice to see some better results and a little better feel with it. So hopefully that continues.
I thought you also threw a couple of good curveballs today, but one of the things I was commenting on, Jay, and I've seen this now in your last 2 outings, and maybe it's something that the people in Seattle can get familiar with, but I see a lot of late swings on your fastball. You have some late life to your fastball. Has anybody ever talked to you about any kind of deception that maybe you have?
Yeah, that's something that I've heard, definitely, and it's not something that I can really consciously do, but I'm definitely glad it's there, and I'll take any advantage I can get. I try to use that to my advantage and try to use the bottom and the top of the zone. Try to stay out of the middle part as best I can, and it's definitely beneficial to have a little deception.
Well, it certainly worked here today for you. Carson Smith, easy 1-2-3 inning for the big righty. Jay, you're talking about your fastball. Did that increase a little bit? I think I remember you telling me or somebody telling me you added a couple of miles per hour last year, or you noticed it last year?
Yeah, I feel like the arm strength has gotten a little bit better. I'm not sure where I'm at right now, but I feel good. You know, hoping to maintain that throughout the year. I changed my off-season throwing program a little bit, and then as well as tried to not really drop my arm slot, but just make sure that my hands away from my head, my arms away from my head to free me up a little bit. I feel like the ball's coming out a little bit better from that angle.
Well, we appreciate the time, Mr. Happ. Nice outing today and continued success and good health the rest of spring.
All right. Thank you, guys.
All right, you bet Jay Happ getting it done today. Mariners still up 5-0, moving now to the bottom of the 4th inning.
Beyond the Lights.
Still up 5-0, moving to the bottom of the 4th. It is a packed house here today at the Peoria Sports Complex. Check out the berm. Good action out there. New pitcher for the Brewers, Jeremy Jeffress on the mound, and we want to welcome in the Brewers GM, Mr. Doug Melvin, joining us. Doug, we appreciate the time. How are you doing this spring?
All right, fine. Thanks for getting me out of the sun for a half.
It's a warm one today.
I was cooking down there. So.
It's nice and cool in here, I'll tell you that. Well, I want to ask you first, before we get into your team and division and what you guys are up to this year, ask about a longtime Brewer, Ricky Weeks, who's now over with the Mariners, a guy that came over in the offseason. What kind of player is he? What kind of person are the Mariners getting? And was there some thought of you guys bringing him back this year?
Yeah, well, Ricky's a high character individual, and he was a big part of our success when we had all of our young players coming through the draft. But you know, I was fortunate enough to be a part of Ricky's career here in Milwaukee. That's what you call that. And he's he's a guy. He's a tough guy. He's a tough player. He play hurt. Great bat speed. He played second base for us his whole entire career, but he was very instrumental with us when we were scoring a lot of runs at the top of the order. He would get on base, he works the count, but he can still swing the bat. Last year he was very productive for us as a right-handed bat. Scooter Gennett got more playing time than Ricky, but he was still very productive, and I think he's at the stage of his career now. I know they're going to look at him and playing some left field, but I was very fond of Ricky. Like I said, he was there when Prince Fielder and J.J. Hardy and Corey Hart and Ryan Braun and Giovanni Gallardo, they all came up together. But you got to turn the page at times, and the way the game is. And I wish Ricky the best as a Mariner.
I was hoping, because he's one of my favorite players to watch when I get a chance to see Jonathan Lucroy, but he's not here. How is he doing? I know he has a hamstring issue. When do you expect to see him back on the field?
Well, he played on the backfield yesterday, and he got some swing against a minor leaguer, so he's going to come up here pretty soon and get playing in our games.
Taylor trying to tackle a fly ball to right field by Jackson. He's going to be out at the plate, which makes our guest Doug Melvin very happy, GM of the Brewers. Yeah. So Taylor leads off with a triple, out trying to score on the sac fly.
But Jonathan is just, he really went into his own last year, came into his own, became an all-star. He handled our pitchers very well. I remember Jason Kendall when he was with us. He's always said it took about 5 years for you to get comfortable with all your pitchers and learning to call games and all that. But Jonathan does a great job. But he's an offensive weapon for us. You can hit him anywhere in the order. Tough out. I think he had 53 doubles last year, and hits good pitching. And basically, he's one of our team leaders. He's a guy that everybody goes to. He comes to the park. He loves to play baseball. He's a baseball junkie, and
you can see that. That's why I like watching him.
Yeah, he loves the game, and he's at the park early, and he likes to strap it up, and that's important to have those kind of players on your ball club if you're gonna win.
One of the new additions, Adam Lind, with your club. Is he going to play first on a regular basis?
Yeah, we're hoping so. That's the risk we took in making the trade for Marco Estrada, is that he hasn't played 100 and some plus games because of the DH. But as you know, in the National League, there's no DH, so we got to get him out there. If we can get him out there for 125, 130 games, we do love his bat. We haven't had a bat like his from the left side since we lost Prince Fielder. We're pretty right-handed strong with Ramirez, LaCroix, Gomez, Braun. We had Segura, Chris Davis. So we really haven't had that many left-handed hitters, so he's a welcome addition. But that's the challenge, is to keep him on the field. He's had some back issues, and like I said, in the American League, you can give a guy 25, 30 games in that DH role, and we just can't do that in the National League. So that'll be the challenge. But we do need his bat in the left-handed bat. He's a professional hitter. You guys have seen him even more than I have, but our scouts have told us it's not about power. It's about this guy getting on base and professional hitter. And our ballpark's a good hitter's ballpark, so I think it's a good ballpark for him.
Well, a nice inning for your team. No damage done by the Mariners. Doug Melvin, we appreciate the time. Good luck in the NL Central. Very tough NL Central this year.
Good luck to the Mariners.
Bye, Doug. Thank you very much. We're back on the Burn, back here on Root Sports right after this. Thank you very much. As spring goes on, these tickets get harder and harder to get. The Peoria Sports Complex starts to sell out. Big crowd here today. This is the scene before the game. And right now, going to the fifth inning again out on the berm. Probably only tickets left out there in the berm. Brendan and John McLaren, longtime bench coach for Lou Piniella, one-time manager of the Mariners. And he said he tried to get a ticket today. Couldn't do it. I said, really? Even you couldn't do it. So it's tough to get out there. And again, that's that left field pavilion.
It's been a nice addition, and it's been a popular area. And I'm sure it will be today as we approach 90 degrees. A little bit of shade out there.
Little libations out there as well. A little food and drink. Get out there for the fans. It's a good place to be. The Mariners have a new pitcher, the lefty, Mr. Charlie Furbush. We know that there is going to be at least one lefty in the bullpen, and it's going to be this man.
It's definitely going to be Charlie. I know they'd like to add another left-hander, but we'll wait and see. Charlie so far in the spring, 3 innings pitched. So just trying to get stronger. Probably throw a few more breaking balls today. He's had a good fastball so far in the spring.
Faces off against Matt Clark. Lefty on lefty, first pitch of ball. Clark came in this game switching with when Ryan Braun was out. They switched their lineup, so Matt Clark got to play first base. Had a single in that second inning, his first at bat.
Almost hit him with that breaking ball. Charlie, of course, fastball be anywhere from 90 to 92, 93 miles an hour, somewhere in there. And his slider is an out pitch. It's a pitch he likes to throw to the left-handed hitters. Mariners are fortunate to have Charlie because he's not a guy that you have to bring in just to get the one lefty out. If you need him to pitch a full inning, he can work his way through some right-handed hitters as well.
Fly ball to the new center fielder, Mr. James Jones. Backpedals a couple of steps, makes the out. One down here in the fifth. Also have a new right fielder for the Mariners. Jody Lara out there in right. So the subs starting to come in. These players, almost to the third week of spring training, so they'll get 5-6 innings now. And that third week is going to kind of be where Lloyd McClendon talking today about where he kind of dials in that left-handed relief pitchers that they've been working with, trying to get them to go a little back-to-back, trying to figure out who's going to end up making this team.
Yeah, I think the regulars right now, they're working their way up. They'll probably get their 3 at bats, and then Lloyd will get them out. I know one of the things I talked to Lloyd about what he wanted to accomplish this spring. He said, I want to be healthy when we start the year, and so he's going to take it easy on the guys for the most part. I think a lot of times you see them stretch them out, and then you see the guys start to play 6, 7, 8 innings in that area, but then they back them back off just before the season starts, and I think that's probably the route that Lloyd's going to go with his regulars.
0-2 count on right fielder Logan Schaefer. Yeah, just a different feel, not just from Lloyd, but everybody seems in camp just kind of a more relaxed. Lloyd knows the team. The guys that they brought in worked out well, and inside curveball, Schaefer caught looking.
I think Charlie wanted to throw this pitch away. You can see Mike Zunino set up down and away. He wants to bury this pitch on the outside corner. Doesn't get it there, but catches a break by getting the inside corner.
That'll bring up first for Luis Jimenez. Lined out to Seager for the final out in the second inning. And the players are talking to them, Mike. You've been around them too. You just get the sense that, I mean, they're excited about this year. Each spring, I'm sure every team is excited about the year, but they think they've got, something special here. Build off last season. They've got some bats they brought in. It's a good field. The guys have fit in really well. Weeks and Cruz, Ruggiano, and those guys.
Seth Smith. All veteran players, and that's what makes a difference. And even Lloyd talking about his bench this year, the guys that are going to be on his bench are veteran players. And the Mariners winning 87 games last year, missing the postseason by 1 game. Then you had Nelson Cruz in the middle of your lineup. They're hoping that the combination of those things with the great pitching that they have will be the one to get them into the postseason this year. And when you sign somebody like Nelson Cruz, I mean, you saw a little bit of a change last year when Robinson Cano came on board. Everybody was excited about that. And now you have 3 All-Stars in the middle of your lineup. It makes a big difference.
Brad Miller, great stop. The throw. Got him. Great play by Brad Miller for the final out here in the 5th inning. These plays are fun to watch.
When you take a look at a ball hit in the hole, and we talked about it with Brad. He has good range and a strong throwing arm. This is not an easy play against a speedy runner and able to get him. So fine play by Brad Miller. I think he went into that slide. He was going to be able to get to that ball and glove it cleanly, but they drop down to a knee a lot of times just to stop their momentum from carrying them into the outfield further. But the key is he has to be able to get up right away, and Brad certainly was able to do that, having just a great spring again. Really played well so far.
We're set to lead off the bottom of the 5th inning with Kyle Seager. A walk and a single. Scored a run in the 3rd. We bring in our baseball analyst, Mr. Bill Kruger. Bill, the offense getting things done 1 through 9 today. Kind of nice balanced lineup, balanced scoring for the Mariners.
Yeah, they took advantage of a young pitcher that really struggled with the strike zone that wasn't very overpowering in Fears, and that's what you have to do. You have to take guys that can't get ahead in the count. You got to punish them. They got some base runners on, and they came up with some clutch hits, throughout the lineup. It's fun to see Nelson Cruz right there in the middle, though, isn't it?
It really is. Talk a little bit about Happ. I've seen him a couple of times now, Bill, and in fact, I just asked him about his fastball. He seems, I don't know that there's some deception there, but his fastball is getting on these guys. A lot of late swings. What do you like about Happ so far?
Well, he looks like a polished starting pitcher in the big leagues. I mean, his numbers suggest that. He's had a lot of success before he got here. He's very compact. His release point is very well timed. He has a good idea what he's doing on both sides of the plate. We saw him work his, he says it's his slider. I mean, there isn't a lot of break between curveball and slider, but whatever his breaking ball was today, it was very good. He really had the left-handers on their heels because he finished them with fastballs away and fastballs in that were in the low 90s. He touched 93. He got his changeup into the game against Ramirez, and that's something I think he wants to work on. When you look at his numbers, he's basically a fastball breaking ball pitcher, so awful lot to like there. As you said, he's tough to pick up. He's real smooth. He gets on top of the ball, nice and easy, and the ball kind of leaps at you because he's not very herky-jerky.
Reminds me of young Bill Kruger.
Well, he's to your point, there are some similarities. Fastball, breaking ball, there are some similarities, yeah.
Oh, I know.
Thanks, Bill. Kyle Seager got a full count here. Seager's just getting his work in,
well, he's a veteran now.
Yep, exactly. Coming in with a little more confidence, especially after last year and the contract and all the All-Star, the accolades, the Gold Glove, as he draws a walk here.
Looks like Danny Farquhar is going to be next up for the Mariners as he gets loose out in the Mariner bullpen. So a good outing for Charlie Furbush, and Danny going to get a chance to pitch. We'll see a few more curveballs out of Danny. I'm sure his fastball, of course, his four-seamer is going to be 95, 96 miles an hour with a cutter. But he hasn't thrown many breaking balls yet, so maybe today's the day.
Kyle Seager, after his 3rd at-bat, to your point, Mike, taken out for a pinch runner, so Seager is done. DH Cruz steps up. This might be his last at-bat of the game as well. It's Rivero running at first base for Seager.
Carlos Rivero. An opportunity to play quite a bit here in the first few weeks of spring training.
This time, ground ball to left field gets through for Mr. Cruz. That's a base hit. Runners on first and second now, no outs. And he is done as well.
Good running fastball. I think it did jam him, but you get an idea how strong Cruz is. Able to get in on his hands, but he fights it through the infield.
His previous at-bat hit that missile to Segura short. Could have been ruled a hit, but it was ruled an error. But he gets a single there, so he finishes up 1 for 2 with a walk.
Tyler Marlette will pinch run for Cruz.
And up steps Logan Morrison. Runners on again. No surprise for him today. First 2 at-bats, bases loaded. Now he comes up first and second, no outs. So Morrison a chance to do some damage here. Takes a pitch inside. Count it 2-0. Morrison got himself a new house this offseason down in Florida. It's nice to know, Mike, that these guys have the same struggles, problems that everybody has. He's trying to furnish the house. He said it was one of the hardest things he and his wife had to do as he rips a shot in the gap in left field. So drop down for a base hit. Here comes a runner. Able to score easily. Rivero. Mariners added to their lead now at 6-0. Third time's a charm for Lomo.
Looks like a fastball up, out over the plate. This is what we saw from him in the second half of last year, just going with the pitch, not trying to do too much, so getting more comfortable. He's having a good spring. It was a little bit of a struggle today up till that point. But a solid line drive base hit as he picks up an RBI. And DJ Peterson will pinch run for him, so most of the regulars on their way out of this game.
Morrison is out. Saying, going back to the story about furnishing the house, saying it was just a struggle, and the wife wanted this, he wanted this, and in the end, guess who won? The wife. Always.
Always.
Perfect. I said, see, you're no different than anybody else out there, buddy. It's good to know. So he's done after his RBI single. Mike Zunino at the plate now. Runners on the corner.
Mike 1 for 2 in the game. Fly out to center field and then had a base hit. Picked up a couple of RBIs with that base hit. Base hit to left.
Gets by the catcher. Here comes Marlette, able to score from third on the probably going to be ruled a pass ball. The Mariners pick up another one.
We showed the running fastball to Cruz, and this one the same thing. A lot of life to the fastball. Mike Zunino, you can see him standing there. Last year he was hit, I believe, 17 times. He's not going to move out of the way, but fortunately it did not hit him. Mariners pick up another run.
Now 7-0 the fifth inning. Fouled off, 2-1. Yeah, Mike just recognizing pitches better this year, he's saying it, and knowing what the pitchers are trying to do to him. Once you kind of figure out the game plan against you, you can go about attacking that. Lays off the high fastball.
Brad, I was talking about him earlier, and I think the biggest thing is that he's comfortable with the pitching staff. You just heard Doug Melvin, the general manager for the Brewers, talking about that with LaCroix and Jason Kendall and these guys talking about 4 or 5 years. Well, let's not forget, Mike's not too far removed from college, and last year his first full season catching one of the toughest pitching staffs in my mind, just because of the stuff that they had. Obviously, they're the best pitching staff last year in the American League. And I think that's going to help his offense.
He grounds out to third.
Just because he'll be more comfortable on his day-to-day working with those pitchers and spend a little bit more time probably on his hitting, although he did hit 22 home runs last year.
The mental side might be a little easier for him as well, not just the overload.
Well, he's
obviously
a smart kid with the way that he handles the pitching, but that's where his focus was at, and that's where it should be. That's the strength of this club, and he knows what the priority of it is, and did an excellent job. I just think that now that he's familiar with most of the guys, he can concentrate a little bit more on his hitting, and that will help him.
Up steps Dustin Ackley. 2 for 2, single to second, single RBI in the third. What do you think will get more play? It's Brad Miller on deck. What's going to get more play, trending more on social media this year? Ackley's beard or Brad Miller's hair?
I would think it would be Brad Miller's hair, just because it's new.
If he keeps it, you're absolutely right. That is,
he wants to.
Someone unique.
He wants to. He's not sure if Lloyd's going to let him, but he wants to. He wants to keep his hair.
So
but
far,
he may, because Dustin's been able to hang on to his beard.
That's going nowhere.
That's going nowhere. That hasn't been a problem.
Miller was asking, or I think Lloyd maybe asked him if he was going to cut it, and Brad was thinking, now is that a hint? Does he want me to cut it? Do I have to? He said, I'm just going to let it go until they make him, I guess. But he likes it. So let it flow. It's looking good. Two-one on Ackley. Hard hit ball right to the second baseman. Get the runner over to third. Actually makes a second out of the inning.
He's had a good afternoon. He's hit the ball hard 3 times. A couple of base hits. 2 for 3 for Dustin. And looks like we're going to get a pitching change.
Brad Miller was set to get up to the box. Now back to the on deck circle as we wait. So as we do that, quick break. Nelson Cruz running off, taking advantage of the pitching change to get on out of here. We're coming back though. More Mariners baseball on Root Sports. Half hours north of here. They're trying to tell me that's you with the cowboy hat on top.
It is.
There, Mike.
It is. I can tell by the belt buckle. That's me.
Well, they just being on top. Easy hike for you, right? Easy climb.
Would you do something like that? Would you go up there? I would not.
Probably not. I don't like heights that much. I'd hike around, but not to the very top.
Oh, Curtis will. 2 seconds, he'll be up there, but
he'll say that he'll.
It's like an awesome view, though.
Well, it's one thing. All these years down here, I've not done the Grand Canyon. What you have or not?
Give you something to do tomorrow, Brad. You have a day off.
Again, Sunday man's will go to the Grand Canyon. I was going to hang out with you, go to a game with you.
Oh no, I have the day off.
Tomorrow. Oh, you've got the day. Oh, it's true. No TV. Next TV game Sunday, 1 o'clock right here. We've got a new pitcher, Tyler Cravey. Take a look at him. Take a look at Brad Miller.
Should be a pretty good battle right here.
I think so. First pitch ball. Cravey's got some luck. Look at that. Hat can't even stay on. He got so much hair. Count at 2-0. Remember, Brad's just kind of saying that's where I want to be. A couple of months. Just keep it growing. Catches the inside corner, 2-1.
Brad came into the game hitting an even .500 for the spring. 0 for 2 this afternoon.
Well, you notice the weight he put on. You see him up close.
Yeah.
15 pounds.
Yeah, I saw him when I first came down here a little over a week ago, and I noticed the weight that he'd put on, how strong he looked before I noticed the hair. Give you an idea. I think he's put on 16 pounds, I believe. And, you know, he talked about it towards the end of last year too, just going through his first full season at the major league level. Just, you know, it's taxing on your body. You lose weight, especially when you're a young man like he is. It's difficult to keep weight on anyway. So I think the extra work that he put in over the winter is going to help him.
Swing and a miss. Cravey gets out of the 5th inning as Miller goes down swinging. The Mariners still have that 7-0 lead here as we go to the 6th.
The sixth inning, and the Mariners lead at 7-0. Time now for our CenturyLink link to what's next. On Sunday, the Mariners take on the LA Dodgers. You can see all the action right here on Root Sports at 1 o'clock. The Mariners and the Dodgers, Sunday at 1. Brad, I think you mentioned it, but I didn't know if you mentioned who they were playing. The next TV game was against the Dodgers, so I want to get that out there.
I did not, Ange. Thank you. It is 1 o'clock right here against the Dodgers. Be a fun game. I believe Clayton Kershaw gets the start in that one if the rotation holds for the Dodgers.
Saw that this morning. That'll be fun.
Be very fun.
Danny Farquhar going to take over for the Mariners. Good fastball. Danny's fastball, 94 to 96 miles an hour. We'll use a cutter that'll be in the low 90s.
First pitch swinging. First pitch, one out from Mr. Farquhar here in the sixth.
12-6 curveball. Let's look at DJ Peterson taking over at first. I had to laugh the other day. The Rockies, they had a split squad and they had their choice. They had a chance to either face Felix Hernandez or Clayton Kershaw. That was their splits for the day.
Wow. I don't know what you do. Maybe he has to stay home.
Sore hamstring.
Peterson, a guy who's played some thirds and firsts, maybe eventually some outfield as well, DH, but a big bat. The Mariners certainly like that. Take a look at him there. Home run his very first at bat here in spring this year.
He did. 31 home runs combined last year, 111 RBIs, a lot to like.
Get a bat like that, they'll find a place for you, right?
First round pick a few years ago.
Two 2-1 count to their catcher, Juan Centeno. 0 for 1. Flew out to left field in the third inning. There's a big fly ball to right field. Heads up on the berm. Solo shot, the Brewers on the board. His first home run of the spring.
Looked like a fastball. I'm wondering if maybe it was Danny's cut fastball. Didn't quite get it in on his hands. They want to go inside. Yeah, that was a little cutter. Didn't quite get it there. That was middle in.
Pay attention out there on the berm, fans out there. Fly ball left field. That one's going to be slicing foul. And remember, Mariners fans, a limited number of opening day seats are still available with the purchase of a full or 20-game Mariners season ticket plan. Single game tickets for the event have sold out, but you can still join us for the Mariners home opener. You call 206-346-4001 to pick out a plan. Again, 206-346-4001. Shot of our Little League field there, wiffle ball field. We want to welcome in catcher Mike Zunino joining us now. Mike, how are you, buddy?
I'm doing well. How you guys doing?
Doing very well. Nice outing here today. We talked with Jay Happ. What did you see out of today's starter?
I thought he did a good job of commanding all his pitches today. He kept the ball down in the zone, and he was able to throw all 4 pitches for strikes. And that's something we're just trying to get comfortable with and sort of get on the same page calling the game.
How do you feel at the plate right now, Mike? You're obviously having a good spring. Picked up another base hit and a couple of RBIs today, but how do you feel up there?
I'm feeling better. There's a couple of things I'm still trying to clean up a little bit, and it's been a good spring so far, and I feel like I'm getting a little bit more comfortable up there every day. So luckily it's early, and I got a lot of time to keep working on stuff.
Can you talk a little bit about what those things are that you're trying to clean up? What are you working on?
Yeah, I've just sort of widened out a little bit and sort of kept my weight more centered, and instead of trying to stride across my body, which I don't do intentionally, I'm just trying to go straight to the pitcher, and that sort of helped me stay in line with the pitcher and recognize pitches. So it's one of those things that I just sort of do some drills every day to do that and sort of get my line right.
Have you noticed a big difference, Mike, this spring compared to last spring, where you are as a player?
Yeah, 100%. I just feel a little bit more comfortable. Obviously, pitching staff and stuff like that stayed the same. So, I mean, I feel a little bit more comfortable working with those guys. And I mean, just knowing what to expect a little bit. Obviously, last year with the new coaching staff, I was coming in trying to prove myself and going 100% every day. And this year, I sort of know what to expect, and it's more of a preparation for the season.
Well, the season's fast upon us, though, Mike. But so, what do you think you need to accomplish here? What are you looking to do these last 2-3 weeks of spring? Just kind of continue to get better and get ready? Is there something specific you want to have done?
Yeah, I think right now it's just continuing to have good at bats, sort of recognize pitches. I mean, I want to have good at bats and approach some as if I would in a game, and the other ones I want to track and make sure that I'm doing some of the mechanical stuff right. So it's one of those things where it's just constant work, and it's a great time here to work on it.
Single, 2 RBIs. We appreciate the time. Thanks, Mike.
Yep, thank you guys. Appreciate it.
All right, Mike Zunino talking about Happ and the Mariners, who lead 7-1 going to the bottom of 6. Presented by authority of the Seattle Mariners and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Seattle Mariners. Not that those kids playing wiffle ball care. It's Chris Taylor leading off. A screaming foul ball to left field. This will be Taylor's final at bat. He's had a good game, 2 for 2. He had a single and a triple in the 4th inning. Playing second base today, something he played a lot in the minors. Nick Franklin played some short last year, played second. Talked to him today, and he said there's no real different or problems for him playing second. He'll probably, get out early and take a couple turns at turning that double play. But as far as feeling grounders and throws and stuff, no problem.
Good. Yeah, it was good for him and Brad both. They both had been taking turns this week from short to second. Robinson Cano will be back in the lineup tomorrow, so that probably is going to be it for them. But they had a week where they can get on the other side of the diamond and do some things, and I talk about it all the time, especially with young players. The more that you can do, Brad, the better your chances are. And we've talked about both Chris and Brad. Does that one look like he hit him on the hand? Yeah, hopefully he's okay.
He's holding that right wrist hand.
Yeah, maybe on the wrist.
So he was coming out anyway. Now's a good reason.
They called it a foul ball, too. Let's take a look at it. Home plate umpire saying it went off the knob of the bat. Rick Griffin, Mariner trainer, longtime Mariner trainer. By the way, happy birthday, Rick. It's his birthday today.
Yes. I believe this is year 32 or 33. Head trainer for the Mariners. How about that?
Happy birthday to him.
Exactly. Happy birthday, Rick.
Well, the good news is it looks as if Chris is going to stay in the game, so I'm sure he will be done after this at bat. They'll send him in and get some treatment. Sometimes on the knob of the bat with your hand, you can get your hand pinched in there, and maybe that's what happened. It doesn't feel good, that's for sure, but it's better than getting hit on the wrist or the back of the hand.
He'll stay in there. Count at 0-2. Comes right back with a base hit up the middle. So a 3-for-3 day for Chris Taylor.
Well, I guess his hand is okay. 0-2 count. Looks like that's fastball again, trying to run it in on his hands. You can see it right there. He fights it up. Good inside out swing. Stays inside the ball. Picks up his 3rd hit of the day, and he will come out of the game. Good idea. Go get some treatment on his hand, try to keep the swelling down. Sean O'Malley pinch running for him over at first. A good day for Chris Taylor.
You mentioned Brad Miller's coming in hitting 500. Taylor was hitting over 300 coming in, 313 and a 3-for-3 day. So a lot of production out of those two guys as they battle for that shortstop position.
This will be James Jones stepping in. Took over in center field for Austin Jackson. So for James, his first at bat of the afternoon.
Every time you see, I just can't help myself but smile every time you see James Jones, because he's usually smiling, always in a good mood. Such a nice, fun-loving guy. Good to have in the clubhouse.
And he was a productive player for the Mariners last year, stealing 27 bases. Mariners, at times, their offense was a struggle, and he provided some of that with his speed. Manufacture some runs.
He's a guy who exactly wants to use that speed, get on base more. He plans on bunting more this year. Lloyd's saying he's got his hands in a little different position to hit. But then also thing you talked about with the catching, it really goes with any position in baseball. Such a difficult sport, difficult thing to do, hit a baseball, that you gotta have patience.
Well, and for James, he held his own last year. He hit 250. That was okay his first time around. And you know, you mentioned it. He's aware of his game, and when I've talked about it before, stealing 27 bases out of 28 attempts isn't just because of speed. He knows what he's doing. He's worked hard at it. Now this is the next part, and he has a better idea of what they're going to try to do and where he fits in the lineup when he gets a chance to play. And I'm sure Lloyd has had many conversations with him, along with Howard Johnson, the hitting coach. But he has a tremendous amount of speed, so you may as well use it.
And you mentioned the success rate, and those were coming in late game situations. He'd come in pinch run where everybody knew he was going to steal,
especially in September. Yeah, because he came in and he was playing, and so he was stealing them when he could. But later in the season, he was coming off the bench. By then, people were aware of him and the speed that he had, but he still was able to steal the bases in big situations. So a lot of talent for the young man.
Fearless on those base paths. He's got a 3-1 count here. I wonder if he'd get a good fastball to hit, and he did, just missed it. Dustin Ackley's day done on the field, but not done with the fans, signing autographs. Another great thing about coming to spring training, you get that close to major leaguers and get autographs after games. Talk to them, ask them questions. He loses them. Jones able to walk, so the Mariners first and second here in the 6th inning. That'll bring up Jody Lara, his first at bat after replacing Seth Smith out in right field. Pitcher Jim Henderson, new for the Brewers. A single and a walk here to start the 6th. There's Mr. Lara. Big guy, a lot of talent in that frame. There's Jim Henderson, the righty, new pitcher for the Brewers. First pitch of ball to Lara. Second pitch up and in. What spot the Brewers wanted to address this offseason, that bullpen. Signing K-Rod once again to be their closer. Kind of had a renaissance year last year, but he's not quite in camp yet. So they've got the offense that we've seen and talked about with their general manager, Doug Melvin. Bullpen a concern. Laura skies one up. And I mean way up. Finally comes down.
You were talking, Brad, about Jordy and his size, but watch him swing the bat here early on. I hope he gets a chance to stick around and play more. I know that minor league guys are going to be out playing. I think on Monday is when the pitchers and catchers are here now, and the regulars will come in, and they want to move some of these guys out to camp. The Mariners with 60 players in camp, and the young players, they want to move down there so they get more at bats and get ready for their season. But he's interesting to me. He's taking some aggressive swings like that last one, and watching him take batting practice, he has some pop.
See a shot to left field there. Might be trouble. Going to fall in for a base knock. Runners couldn't go on contact. O'Malley had to see if it was going to land or not. So bases loaded once again for the Mariners.
And this fastball gets in on his hands. He fights it off in the left field, pick up a base hit. About Sean O'Malley, who's out at second base. He came on the pinch run for Taylor with nobody out. You have to make sure that it's going to hit the ground. And here in Arizona, it can fool you at times. The ball will carry. So you better to be safe than sorry. Mariners in a good situation with the bases loaded and nobody out.
Jones second again with tremendous speed.
Carlos Rivero going to step in.
Fastball got the outside corner. We got to love these situations for a young kid coming up, bases loaded, no outs. What's the thought process on this? Just put it in play?
Well, right now, I think for the younger players, yeah, they just want to get that runner in right now, and that's what his job really is. Of course, he would love a base hit, but you have to make sure you put the ball in play and get the runner in.
Saws him off. A little pop up to first. First out of the inning.
Henderson has jammed a few hitters. It's a good run on his fastball.
Marlette coming up now for the Mariners. Bases still loaded. There's a right-handed batter. Outside with the first pitch.
Michael Guaipe getting loose in the Mariners bullpen, so he'll be next up. See the fourth reliever for the Mariners today, so everybody getting some work in.
Guaipe is an interesting kind of prospect for the Mariners. This one beat to shortstop. See if they can get two. No, can't even get one. Thrown away. Jones able to score. So 2 runs in on the air. The Mariners now lead 9-1.
Well, this is another one of the things you see in spring training later in the games. You get a lot of the young players in there and try to go with the quick flip. He had time to get the lead runner. Didn't have to be as quick with that little flip over to do the second baseman.
That'll give us our first look at DJ Peterson today at the plate. Taking over for Logan Morrison. Last inning. Again, the 31 home runs in the minors last year. Got an opportunity to play quite a bit here in the spring, hitting .238. He has a home run. Swings through that first pitch. Game-winning sac fly the other night. That was a good piece of hitting. Goes down and gets that one. Looks like he'll have another sacrifice fly. Laura able to score easily from third on the deep fly to center field. Peterson does his job again. And now it's a 10 spot, 10-1 Mariners.
Yeah, it's little things like that that will impress Lloyd McClendon, the manager for the Mariners. As you mentioned, he had done it earlier in the spring. Picks up another one. He looks to be aggressive with runners in scoring position. I like that. If he can get a fastball he can handle, he typically will try to put it in play. And I think if you can get in and out of there quickly and get that runner across, best way to do it.
Maybe showing Lloyd something too, coming in both those appearances, late games, pinch hitting situations
off the bench.
So something to learn for these young hitters.
Well, I think that's what you'd like, and that's one of the things Lloyd was talking about earlier today is the veteran bench that he has. And the reason why you like those guys is because they understand that when they come off the bench, you better be ready to go. And a lot of times young hitters are looking for that perfect pitch to try to hit, and sometimes you can't wait around for that, especially in those situations. And DJ has a real good idea of what he's doing up there, and we've seen it so far here early in spring.
Mike Dowd taking over, catcher from Mike Zunino in the box. His first at bat today. Fists this one to center field. It's gonna they run it down for the third out of the inning. 3 more runs for the Mariners. They lead 10-1. My job is done, Mr. Bowers. Enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Dave Sims, come back and finish this one. Thanks, buddies.
At 10-1 now as we head to the 7th inning. A reminder, hockey fans, to tune in this evening for a WHL showdown on the ice. Watch the Portland Winterhawks face off against the Spokane Chiefs at 7 p.m. Pacific. For more information, go to rootsports.com. Changes continuing with my scorecard. Similar story with the play-by-play because Dave Sims now back in the booth.
All right, Angie, thank you very much. A lot of offense today. I'd like to see all the cricket numbers up on the board for the Mariners. 10-1 over Milwaukee, and now it's the battle of the youngsters the rest of the way.
The bullpen's done a good job today again. Yeah, a lot of the guys, the regular guys that we're going to see over the course of the season, pitched well today. You have Smith, Furbush, Farquhar.
You know what I liked? One of the things, in addition to that, DJ Peterson, we continue to marvel. He's got presence. Situationally, he's done some nice things in this early going.
He's a confident young man for good reason, and he continues to do well, and it's not going to be too long that he's going to be a regular in the Mariners lineup. I think everybody understands that. Not sure what position he's going to play, but if you can hit, they'll find one for you.
Yeah, right.
And he can definitely hit.
Let us have that type of problem.
Michael Guaipe going to take over for the Mariners.
A 10-1 lead for the Mariners. This one fouled off. Behind that white screen there, MLB, it is MLB Network is here. Our good buddy Sean Casey. Peter Gammon's the Hall of Famer in town, and there's a line drive left field. Right at Austin Wilson, who makes the catch. Good to see Sean. Good to see Peter. Saw Peter during BP today, and said, all you national guys coming in. I said, do you like this Mariner ball club? He said, I like this Mariner ball club a lot. He picks.
We've heard that a lot, which is a good thing.
Yeah, he said, what did he say? He said Cleveland and Seattle for the American League. I can live with that. Let's do it. One out. This is Elian Herrera. Bob Nightingale from USA Today was here. Bob's the guy that late last year, Tyler Kepner from the New York Times. He went to school with Bradley Cooper, the noted actor, Germantown Academy just outside of Philly. And Bob Nightingale was the one, I remember, right around Labor Day. He says, you guys are going to win this thing. I said, you missed by a game. You missed by a game. The team getting into the playoffs.
We all felt that way.
And Bobby still has high regard for this team and thinks it's going to be in the playoffs.
Well, I think it's one of those things where you look at this club and majority of the pitching is back. And they're all talented young men. And when you can pitch and hopefully score a few more runs, and with the additions that they've made, I think it makes sense for people to like them. I know we do. And things have gone well for them over the course of the spring so far. The regulars that are in there are doing well. And the biggest thing, again, is something that I know that Lloyd is. We heard it from Jack, too, the other day when we had him on, is health. Just stay healthy, guys. And
I'm afraid to look at transactions every day for just about anybody anymore, man. That's scary. 3-1 here. Doug Melvin, after he left you guys in the interview, I chatted with him. I go back with Doug a few years, and he said, the thing I like about what the Mariners have done, built onto what you did last year. Sometimes you see a team make that big step, and now with the additions with Cruz, etc., which everybody knows about, he said, that's a plus, and you guys are going to be all right.
And I think the other part about it, too, that's I think difficult at times is the patience that Jack and his staff have shown to develop these young guys, let them go, find out who can play, who can't. And then last year was big for them, as you mentioned, with the 87 wins and just missing it into the postseason. And now the timing was right for them to make that next step. They obviously brought in Cano last year, but to go get a Nelson Cruz and a number of veteran guys to help them out.
1 out, 1 on here in the Brewers' 7th. I went a lot lighter in my lunch than that, but that looks pretty doggone good, I'll tell you. I went considerably lighter. Have a big piece of that and then go try to bench lift the building, right?
Exactly.
There's a soft liner out of the reach of Marte for a base hit. 2 on the board, 1 out here in the 7th. MLB.TV Premium. It's the #1 live streaming sports service. It's now available. Join the millions of subscribers. Watch every out-of-market game live in true HD or in over 400 devices. Visit MLB.TV for details. Next hitter is Brian Peterson. Two men on, 1 out. Mariners a double play depth. And slider in there for a strike. Michael Guape pitching for the Mariners. Base hit, right field. Jordy Lara in right field. Here's the throw to the plate. It is not in time. A pretty good throw. Good effort there by Dowd trying to put on the tag. Scoring from second is Herrera. Going from first to third, Matt Clark. There's an RBI from Peterson.
Get an idea of the type of speed Herrera has, because this is a strong throw to home and a really good play by Dowd, who took over for Mike Zunino. Kind of an in-between hop. Tried to stick his leg out there and block him. Herrera clearly goes across the plate and beats the throw. well done all the way around.
This is Matt Long. Runners at the corners for the Brewers. 10-2 ball game. That hit the 5th of the afternoon for Milwaukee. We'll be with you again on TV on Sunday against the Dodgers from right here at Peoria Stadium. And then the Mariners enjoy a well-deserved day off. One of 2 complete days off during the spring. The next one is April 2nd. Catch you on the radio tomorrow at Arizona. Two-0 pitch. Missed the way. 3-0. Guape trying to get out of some trouble here. Fouled away.
Mike Kickham getting loose in the pen. Hard throwing left-hander for the Mariners.
(3-1) pitch. Fly ball left field. Austin Wilson out of Stanford University makes the catch. Good strong throw in. Runner scores on the sac fly. So another run on the board for Milwaukee. 10-3 Mariners with 2 outs here in the 7th. And that will bring up new player here for the Milwaukee Brewers, Jason Rogers. Dowd in the dirt, comes up throwing, and a great job by O'Malley to keep it in the infield. Wild pitch. Allows Peterson to get the second.
Breaking ball in the dirt. Dowd does a good job keeping it in front of him. And then you'll see this ball tail a little bit, and that's when Sean O'Malley comes back across the bag to make the catch. At that point, you just try to do whatever you can to keep it from going into the outfield.
Jason Rogers, the hitter, runner at second. Fly ball down the right field line. Lara, long run, and Peterson a long run. Can't get to it. We hope to see you at Safeco Field during the first month of the season. In addition to opening day on April 6th, the Mariners, they're home for 11 games in April with the Angels, Rangers, Astros, and Twins coming to town. And another reminder for you that each year the Mariners make some upgrades at Safeco Field. This year a new Wi-Fi system has been installed, so fans will be able to enjoy free Wi-Fi throughout the ballpark, and that is a great addition. Fouled in at Dowd's glove for strike 2, 1-2. Another big crowd here in Peoria. Wind is now shifted again. It was blowing in, then it blew out. Now it's blowing towards left field. And a good breaking ball by Guape to strike out Rogers, and that'll do it. 2 more runs on the board for the Brewers. We've played 7, 10-3 Mariners. His way in 83rd. Thanks for all the great tweets and photos during today's Mariners game on Root Sports. Keep them coming and tweet us at #WhereIRoot. Dave Sims, Mike Flowers, Root Sports crew here in Peoria. It's been a great offensive day for the Mariners. A 10-3 lead over the Milwaukee Brewers. Just about all the regulars are out in both teams. So finishing up with the youngsters here in this glorious day. Beautiful sunshine, full house. The berm was packed pretty much from the beginning. Clouds dotting the blue sky. It's been absolutely beautiful.
I think we're going to see this the rest of the way, Dave. I think that this place is going to be crowded the rest of the way. People are excited about this club, and the weather is just terrific.
Here we go, bottom of the 7th inning.
Austin Wilson getting his first at bat of the afternoon.
Remember when this young man signed out of Stanford a couple of years ago, came to Safeco Field, great family, mom and dad, couple of, I think, brothers and sisters, and he is a big man. About 6'5".
He put on a show too, didn't he?
Yeah, oh my
Batting
goodness.
practice. Yeah.
Yes, he did. He's got a good count here, 2-0. And he'll take his base. 4-pitch walk.
Kettle Marte going to step in. Take over at short. Brad Miller.
Had a couple of nice plays over in the game yesterday in the A's against the A's in Mason. He's got a great skill set. Line drive, right field on the hop. Throw to second. And Wilson safe. So base hit for Kettle Marte. And the Mariners, young kids in business here in the 7th inning. It's never too early to start thinking about summer, especially when it's enjoying summer with family and friends at Safeco Field. Group discounts start at 20 tickets with prices as low as $12 a seat. Make plans for summer fun, a lot of summer fun, when you select a group date at mariners.com/groups. Here's O'Malley, Sean O'Malley. Takes ball 1.
Mike Kickham ready to go in the Mariners pen. So the left-hander will pitch the 8th inning.
1-0 pitch down low. David Goforth, the pitcher for Milwaukee. Two-man aboard for the Mariners. O'Malley looks at another pitch down and in. 3-0. James Jones on deck. Three and 1. Sean O'Malley trying to move these runners along. Three and 2.
Well, Well, they should get another fastball. Had a fastball there, 3-1. I'm sure that he'll come right back with it again. Doesn't want to walk the bases loaded. He'll be aggressive right here.
Three-two pitch. Dropped a breaking ball in there for strike 3 called. One away.
Surprised me and Sean.
Top of the order in James Jones.
Second at bat for James. His first plate appearance. He ended up walking, scored a run.
Jones, you might remember, had bat up high around his left ear, up around his shoulder area. Now he's got the hands down around the waist. Made that change about 3 weeks in, I guess, when he came up last year.
Well, obviously he has great speed, and I think by lowering his hands, they just want him to put the ball in play and put it on the ground a little bit more.
There's a conversation I happened upon, and Lloyd says, "Yeah, I want your hands down here like Ernie Banks." James gave a blank look. And Lloyd said, "You want me to tell him or you want to tell him?" I told him, and the next day he came back and I said, "How'd your guy do?" There's the ball back up the middle. Jones, his retired runners move up. So I come back the next day and I see Lloyd. I said, "How'd your guy do?" He says he came in basically with a report card, or a book report on Ernie Banks. He looked up video and Wikipedia'd him, and he knows about Ernie Banks now.
Good for him.
Lloyd and I looked at each other like, seriously, you don't know who Ernie Banks was? Come on, man.
Jordy Lara going to step in. Jordy with a base hit to left field his first time up.
Good throwing arm he showed from right field.
I heard a number of the coaches talking about that, this young man, and we had a chance to see it. Another thing we've seen from him too is he's not taking too many fastballs. If he gets a fastball anywhere near the plate, he's going to
get after
it. Yeah,
I like it.
So do I. Be aggressive.
I mean, you've been through this. It's been a lot of pressure. You want to do something to make a mark for yourself with the organization, coaching staff.
And the best way to do that is to be aggressive if you can. You know, I was watching Austin Wilson up there, and he ends up getting the walk on 4 pitches, and most of the time you're happy with that, help your club, but he's disappointed because he wants to swing the bat. He was hoping that he gets ahead in the count, throw him a pitch to hit so that he can try to do something, open up some more eyes.
Austin Wilson, 12 homers, 54 RBIs in 72 games last year at Clinton. Darn right, he wants to turn it loose.
Turn it loose.
Ground ball to the shortstop. Throws out Lara, and that'll do it. Mariners strand a couple in the 7th. We move to the 8th inning in a 10-3 Mariner lead.
puffy white clouds and the blue skies of Peoria. 10-3 right now as we head to the 8th inning. A reminder that every Monday you can experience the greatest Mariners moments from last season with Mariners Mondays. Tune in next week at 7 Pacific. We're going to take a look back at August and watch the Mariners sweep the Blue Jays. For your local programming schedule, visit rootsports.com. Watch Fernando Rodney like that. Shoot the arrow into the sky. Guys.
All right, Angie, thank you very much. Dave Sims, Mike Blowers down here in Peoria. Again, we'll be back with you on Sunday on TV. Dodgers will be in town. Tomorrow, the Mariners go over to talking Salt River Field, talking stick, take on Arizona. Have that game for you on the radio. Mike Kickham, Rule 5 pickup. He's going to go here today. Actually, he's obtained in a trade, beg your pardon.
Right, yeah. Hard throwing left-hander. So far, 2 1/3 in the spring. Has not given up an earned run yet.
Tell you what, Tyler Olson has set the bar high for left-handers. Trying to join Charlie Furbush as the second lefty in the bullpen. Olson again yesterday. Outstanding. 2 scoreless innings with 3 strikeouts. And
you want to talk about being aggressive. He has been really aggressive in the strike zone, and it's worked well for him.
Yeah, I talked to Zunino about it. He said, boy, he's unafraid. He's got good stuff. Drops down against left-handers. And he's dropped down against a couple of right-handers, too, which really gives even a funkier angle.
Yeah. No, he's looked good. I'll tell you, a little bit of a sleeper, too, is David Rollins. He's pitched well the other lefty. Good fastball.
Yeah. He's the Rule 5 pickup from Houston. Yeah, there's some arms, man.
There's some arms. Yeah, they're young, but, you know, they're impressive. I think anytime you see young pitchers that are able to come in these games and throw strikes, it's impressive.
Kickham was obtained from the Cubbies middle of January.
And speaking of left-handers, Danny Holtzen, it was good to see him back on the mound. He was on part of our telecast the other day.
That was outstanding. Good.
It was great.
Him.
He was throwing 94 miles an hour, 93, 94.
Somebody asked me what was the feeling in the booth. I said, what's the feeling in a booth? The human emotion you expect. We're thrilled for the kid.
Right, exactly.
Second time up for Pete Orr.
He was great after we had a chance to talk to him. He just sounded relieved just to have it over with. It went well, healthy, just relieved.
Yeah. Rescued from a desert island.
Yeah.
That's a lot of frustration. You're talking about early, was it September 13 last time he was on the mound.
I was getting a kick out of him knowing how nervous and the butterflies he had, because I was watching him out in the bullpen because he had to wait to come in and he could not stand still. He was pacing around out there. I was surprised, though, to see that he was throwing that hard. You know that he was throwing that hard, so obviously he's healthy. Threw some good breaking balls, too.
He probably was more nervous than he's ever been since he's been up at this level. You know, coming out of University of Virginia, I mean, he's worried about, hey, am I going to make it? Am I ever going to come back?
Right. And he hadn't pitched in a year and a half.
Hammered foul.
Oh, good for him. Look forward to seeing him again.
Let him have a great year, get 30, 35 starts in the
that's
minor
what the organization
leagues.
wants. Yeah. They allow people were talking to me about his opportunity to maybe make the club. That's out of the question. They don't want to see that. They want to get him through this year healthy.
Kickham picks up a strikeout, gets Orr swinging. Yeah, you want him next year this time, strong mind and body.
And competing for a job, right?
One out, one on in the 8th, a 10-3 Mariner lead. 2 runs in the first, 3 in the 3rd, 2 in the 5th, 3 in the 6th. Kickham with the Giants in 2 games last year, pitched just 2 innings. 2013 season he went 0-3. 12 games, 3 starts, 28 in the third innings. 29 strikeouts and 10 walks. Young man, 26 years old, out of St. Louis. Big kid, 6'4", 220. Fouled away by Yadiel Rivera. 2-2. Good looking pitch. American flag barely moving right now. That's out in right field. Kick him ready with the 3-2 pitch. Bounce foul. Mariners will be opening up the season at home against the Angels Monday, April 6th, a true opening day, a 1:10 start time. Fouled off. And we will hit the air at noon with all the pregame festivities, and I don't think anybody does opening day better than the Mariners do. And cue the tears when they have the Make-A-Wish kid run the bases for the first time.
Yeah.
That is very emotional.
It is.
A lot of fun. The intros are terrific. 3-2. Nice play by Rivera. O'Malley hanging in there.
Good play to get the lead runner.
2 away.
And we'll take a look at it. Jacob stayed with it. Had to throw a lot of pitches, but finally gets the ground ball. And you see Rivera, big man over at third, throwing back across his body.
Catcher Parker Berberet. What's his strike? Rivera will charge. Ball's going to kick foul. 0-2 the count. How about this day? Brad Miller makes a nice defensive play. Going into the hole, strong throw, and then Chris Taylor's having a terrific day. Had a terrific day, swinging the bat, going 3 for 3 with a triple and a run scored. Not bad competition, and it's only the middle of the month.
No, it's going to go to the end of spring training, that one. I don't think Lloyd, even if he makes up his mind, is going to say anything about it. And that's okay. They're both playing well, which is what you want to see.
Ball and 2 strikes. The other thing about that shortstop battle, you see all these scouts down there. A lot of reports. Going to be a lot of good reports on whoever's finishes second.
Well, that's part of the deal too. You know, you're playing for a lot of different people, so just continue to play well, and it'll work out for you.
Two balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. And kick short the full count. Mike, a 6th round pick by the Giants in the June 2010 draft. 3-2. Walked it.
He didn't think so. He thought he had strike 3.
Josh Byrne, the home plate umpire. Runners at first and second.
For Snow. Looks like he'll be next up.
The hitter's going to be Elian Herrera. Trying to get his feel back. That was way outside.
He's struggling a little bit with his fastball command.
Pitch to Herrera. Off the glove. Down. The runner at second advances. Good pass ball. Zunino the count. Rick Waite's going out trying to kick him. Get him back in his lane, if you will.
Well, he gets a runner in scoring position. Thought he had strike 3. It ends up being a walk. Puts a runner in scoring position, and then young player just trying to nibble off the edge of the plate and get out of this inning.
It's interesting. You're talking about as a hitter, you want to be aggressive, swing that bat. As a pitcher, don't you want to pound it too?
Yes.
And not try to be so fine that now you're asking for a razor's edge from. You're not going to get the call you're going to get in June, maybe from the number 1 umpire.
No, that's what you'd like to see, but they can't all be that way.
Right. Line drive and handled nicely out there by Lara. A couple of runners stranded. We go to the home 8th, 10-3 Mariners. Lead 10-3 in Peoria, and we bring in Bill Kruger from back in Seattle. And Bill, your thoughts on the shortstop battle, Brad Miller and Chris Taylor?
Well, obviously the war wages on. You guys have been talking about it a little bit. It's pretty clear and obvious these two young guys are going toe to toe. They are best friends on the field, but they know what they're competing for. And it's hard to separate the two, isn't it? I mean, Miller got out of the chute quick with a couple of home runs. He's played good defense. I mean, a nice play in the hole. But Chris Taylor shows you bat control, real steady on defense, and of course had 3 hits today. So I think his average is creeping up close to Miller's. And I think another good thing, guys, is not that there's anything good about having a family member pass away, but Robinson Cano not being here has given these guys more opportunities to swing the bat and shine.
And it also gives him a chance to get on the other side of the diamond, Bill. I was talking about it earlier as far as position players go, and the Mariners have a number of guys, but if you can play a number of different positions and you can hit a little bit, hey, you never know what's going to happen over the course of the summer.
Well, you're right, because injuries happen, and we're clear of that. And the veteran help that we have on the bench, Weeks has got a little tweak in his hamstring, and of course Willie Broomcliff's coming back from microfracture surgery on knee, so that's no sure thing. So the fact that these guys can play all over the place, that's a plus.
And Bill, the other thing too is and I'm sure they're aware of it by now, and you like the fact that they're both playing well, but there's a lot of other eyes watching this ball club right now too. And I know you've gone through it, I certainly have, but your job is to go out and play well, and if it doesn't work out here, it maybe works out somewhere. So there might be a happy ending for both of them at the end of this camp.
Well, that's right. I mean, I don't think the Mariners are going to be in any mood to let either one of these guys slip through their fingers unless it was something pretty big. But you're right, Mike. Every time you take the field, you're auditioning for 29 other teams. And if you play like a big leaguer, you'll eventually be a big leaguer. And all you need is one yes. There could be lots of no's out there in your pathway in baseball, but all you need is one yes.
There's a base hit to left field off the bat of Tyler Marlette. Bill, thank you so much. Marlette with a knock here in the 8th inning.
Give us a chance to see DJ Peterson again. Peterson with a sacrifice fly and picked up an RBI his last time up, hit the ball out to right field. I'm talking about playing different positions too, Dad. One of the guys I want to see Patrick Kivlahan play some outfield. We've seen him on the corners so far in the infield, but from talking to him, he can play the outfield and he likes playing out there. So maybe he'll get an opportunity. A young man that can hit, organization really high on him, but give him a chance to play some left or right field.
Yeah, that'd be a good look. Jay Happ started for the Mariners. Looked good in his 3 innings. Gave up 1 hit. One to DJ Peterson. Peterson with his 3rd RBI of the spring with the sacrifice fly in his first plate appearance here today. This is well hit, but run down out there by the right fielder for out number 2. Bring up Mike Dowd. Tyler Marlette, one of the backup catchers. He's at first, and here's Mike Dowd, one of the young catchers, another one. Strike from Corey Knebel. He's out of Denton, Texas. He's a Longhorn, played at the University of Texas at Austin. First round pick of the Tigers in 2013, 39th pick. 8 games with Detroit last year. Just 8 2/3 innings. 8 2/3 innings with 11 strikeouts and 3 walks. Dowd looks at a strike. Hanging tough with that. Pounds this one down to third. Dowd is retired, and so are the Mariners in the 8th. We go to the top of the 9th inning in a 10-3 Seattle lead.
You've seen him on
Avenue here in Peoria, 83rd Paradise Lane. They had a whole bunch of palm trees as well here in Peoria, adding to the springtime feel for everybody, for all of us who have come here for spring training. And as you can see, some of them have yet to be unfurled. They're begging for the big day. Beautiful, beautiful afternoon. A lot of people got their fill of sun during the course of this afternoon. The game started back at 1:06 Pacific time. When those palm trees are matured, that's a better look at, a better indication of what it'll look like here in Peoria. Plenty of sun to get the water. It's a good horticulture for people down here. You'll be all right. Before Snow takes over. Looking for the final 3 outs. Snow out of University of Washington. Fastball misses.
A couple of innings of work for Snow so far here in the spring.
Hunter Morris is the hitter. Two and one. For Snow, 6'6", 220. Born and raised in Seattle. At Tacoma last year, 2-3 with a 4.05 ERA in 16 games, 10 of them starts. Wilson coming in. Marte going back. Marte will take it. Brian Peterson will stand in now with 1 out here in the 9th. Brian Peterson. Snow started last season at Double-A Jackson, went 1-1 with a 3.86 ERA in 4 games, 2 starts. And Tacoma, 61 strikeouts, 21 walks in 60 innings. Hit on the button for base hit.
Looked like his changeup. Fastballs we've seen from him, he's trying to work down at the bottom of the zone. That's always a good idea. See if you can get some ground balls. So maybe you can get one here, get a double play. and end it.
Here's Matt Long. Exit ball 1.
Another fastball down.
Zunino. One out, one on. 10-3 Mariners, top of the 9th. Can't find it. Three-0 pitch. Three-one from Snell. Slicing drive center field, gonna get down all the way to the fence. Peterson coming around, he'll score. Going for a triple and is in there. Not long with a triple. It's in a 10-4 ball game.
We talked about the Mariners working on their cutoffs and relays, and here's an example of why. Hit the cutoff man, had a chance. Along with pretty good speed, that was able to beat the throw into third. See if Snow can get ahead of a hitter right here.
Been a problem.
Well, we've talked about it. Rick Waite's the pitching coach, certainly watching these situations, and it's, you know, for the younger players, it's difficult for all of them to come in and they want to do well. But especially in a game like this, 10-3, it's the 9th inning. They want to see you come in and just pound the strike zone. But he's falling behind these hitters.
Oof, he is having a lot of problems. 2-0.
Okay.
Deep to center. Going back, Morales. He's there to make the catch. Plenty deep to score the runner from third, Matt Long. 10-5 ball game. 2 away.
And the other part about it, too, especially when you're pitching in this part of the game, you see these young hitters going up there. They're aggressive by nature, and they become much better hitters when they're in 2-0, 3-1 counts.
No doubt about that. Down to the final out here for the Mariners, for the Brewers. Mariners trying to end it right here.
There you go.
Nevin Ashley. Two and two is the count. 2 outs, nobody on. Josh Byrne not accepting the help from some of the folks here.
He certainly didn't. He's heard that a couple of times now.
3 and 2. This one fouled off. 3-2, 2 outs. And that ball is caught. That'll end the ball game right there for the Mariners, who win it by the count of 10-5. Saw some good things from Jay Happ and a couple of the veteran players out there, Mike.
Well, I think with Happ encouraging again, 2 good outings in a row for him, and I'd like his ability today. He had a good slider to go along with his fastball, and he used his curveball a number of times. Still haven't seen his changeup too much, but I think that will come. So another good outing for him. And then the Mariners' offense up and down the lineup today, scoring 10 runs is good to see.
Good stuff. We'll catch you on the radio tomorrow. Our next telecast is Sunday against the Dodgers. We look forward to that. Hope you've enjoyed our broadcast today. For Brad Adam, Bill Kruger, Angie Menting, Mike Flowers, I'm Dave Sims. Enjoy the rest of your day, everybody. Mariners win this one big, 10-5 over Milwaukee.